door knocks. I can't even imagine at the moment that you're going to find more than one complaint. It would surprise me a little bit that you found one, but we just, because most people have been there for years, they know what's going on.
I guess, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yes.
JB, it was my understanding that it was specifically going to be a section on the application for them to initial that section of the application that they had notified.
That's correct.
Not that
There's
there
no
needs to
obligation
be a
for them to
full written
report us at
letter.
all.
I guess what bothers me about this is any concerns noted and resolved. It's like, oh my goodness. Yeah, we don't like, I mean, they can pick anything and then we have to resolve it. But it just seems like it's an open, and I understand it's a little open-ended. You don't want to be too precise, but that might be something that could lead to, I think it's resolved and you guys don't think it's resolved, that kind of thing.
Angie's correct. All this is that you're initialing a statement on the application that you have done this. In other words, the council doesn't get involved unless, heaven forbid, somebody comes marching into the council and starts pounding on the table, which is highly unlikely. But we're kind of dealing with a problem of balancing two rights. You as the event host have the right to utilize the public property. They as a resident of the city have the right to complain about it. And we have to make sure everybody has that right balance.
Okay. The other one that is a little,
Before you go
Yeah.
on, Jeff, do you have any language suggestions there?
wait.
Okay.
I do.
Yes.
Maybe it's me a little confusing by a statement to be initialed.
Well, except that you're taking it out of context. The mayor's office is hereby authorized to create the means whereby an application for an event permit may be submitted to the city. That would include a statement to be initialed by the applicant. So that subsection can't be taken out of context of C.
Is that, it's a form that's going to include that.
Yes.
This may be crystal clear if I look back at this stuff, but I'm looking at DII, which says, information on the application shall include but not be limited to a statement concerning acceptable behavior, which is right in fact 0204. No individual or group using public space may post themselves on any individual, including but not limited to the excessive noise or behavior, with the exception of close of permitted events, which shall have the rights and authority granted in this ordinance. So I'm not sure. I guess when I'm filling out this application, I'm not sure what in my head is going to say, oh yeah, I can sign off on that.
From our perspective, what are you willing to allow and potentially an inebriated person to do? What constitutes the necessity for control?
Well, elsewhere it says in here we have to have a procedure to handle
That's true.
intoxicated. Okay.
Is there still a question?
I don't know. It just seems a little fuzzy to me, and I'm not sure I totally understand.
Unfortunately, it is a little fuzzy. We don't know, as a council, we don't know how permissive you're willing to let people be when they drink alcohol. At the point of writing this, we weren't willing to set limits. We weren't willing to tell you, well, you're allowed to sell alcohol right up until the first person raises their voice, and then you're done. felt outside of our control, outside of our authority. So we want you to tell us, what do you think is reasonable for you? What are the limits you're willing to put up with? And that gives us an idea of someplace to start answering the question, are you being too permissive or too restrictive? Now, from a practical perspective, there's never a too restrictive condition when it comes to something like alcohol. There could be a too permissive, but if you've got the procedures to back up the permissiveness that you wish to allow, then who are we to say no? But we don't know what that is unless you tell us, because we don't want to compel you.
I understand your question, but I'm not sure how I answer that question on an application. We will permit alcohol up to, I don't know how I finish that sentence. Not sure.
Yes. Nate?
I'm just trying to figure out, are you talking like them selling beer? Alcohol?
But yeah, they're selling alcohol. Sure. They've got to have state permits to do that. That's right. Where does their selling the alcohol cross a line for public safety?
Does that include the person that walked from the stand down to the commercial and had 5 shots and walked back?
Unfortunately, you're right. That's part of the reason why we
So how,
left this
how's the
intention.
Rotary gonna know that he went down and got inebriated and came back and didn't buy a beer one from them?
But that's why we're asking them to say, this is the kind of behavior that we deem inappropriate. Because they don't know where the alcohol could have come from. But they can define what behavior is going to trigger them to do something about it.
To me, it seems almost impossible. How do you know?
Like cut the person off.
Doug?
And why does it have to be alcohol? What about the mentally unstable person that's, or the mad husband or wife that comes down, that's creating a scene that maybe hasn't had a drink?
If I could, in context, this is only talking about the part of the application dealing with applications for use of alcohol. So you're not wrong, but in terms of what we're talking about, this is only alcohol.
It doesn't say that.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, it's not under the alcohol section.
Wasn't it?
Okay.
Thank you very much.
I just say, I mean, acceptable behavior can be a lot of different things.
So,
Or
what's the
unacceptable.
definition of what the state considers disorderly conduct? Disorderly conduct not be your response. Not be the limit when it's disorderly, considered disorderly conduct by the sheriff's office, not be your limit of what is outside
Right, you can't police it.
the, can't police
You
it.
can't just
So
everybody. I have a
acceptable
sneaky sus-
behavior would be up to that point possibly.
I'm thinking I'm gonna have lots of chats with ChatGPT if I figure this out.
I have a suspicion, however, that probably was intended for the alcohol section and is, in this unfortunately complex ordinance, got remanded. Mayor, is it appropriate to pull that back to committee?
We will finish taking public comment and then give council an opportunity to decide how, where to go from here. I will just tell you right now, based on comments and questions that are coming up right now, and the fact that we didn't put taking action on this tonight on our agenda, we will not do anything other than say,
Then take notes.
refer back.
Okay.
Okay. Shall we move on? Okay.
All right, I'm jumping ahead to 009,
All right.
and I'm looking at B. And the host's first application shall be submitted for the event shall, sorry. My real question is the last sentence. Applications shall continue to be submitted before the city and council until the first permit is issued. So I guess that implies that we might make a bunch of applications. So does that mean, I guess I don't understand the context. What's being addressed here?
It would be surprising if the Rotary fell into this condition.
Okay.
We're trying to streamline the event permitting process for the future. In other words, after the first time you have successfully been awarded a permit under this new ordinance, after that, unless there's a substantial change in the nature of next year's application, it simply goes to the mayor's signature. And doesn't come before the council.
Okay,
But until that first application is awarded, or that first permit, then yes, the application process is resubmitted to the council.
that makes sense. I
However,
do,
when's the last time Rotary had to submit twice?
yeah, okay, I appreciate that. I didn't pick that up. Frankly, that's all the comments I have.
Okay, are there comments from other members of the, thank you. Are there other comments from the public? Seeing none, I will close the hearing, the public hearing on the events ordinance. And as it is ministerial in nature, I will ask where council wants to go with this based on the public comment tonight. If you're looking for a suggestion from me, I would send it back to the committee.
I agree too. And I think this would be rather rapidly resolved in committee.
Okay, all right. If there is no objection, I will refer this back to our events committee. Thank you. I appreciate the detail.
Jeff, we thought you were gonna get caught on the miniature horses part.
That's a different, we'll be back next time. Did we want to talk about that service animal thing?
This is, if there's a comment that you need to make, now's the time.
So just for the public, on the service animal thing, it says, a service animal means any dog or miniature horse, discussed later, that is individually trained, blah, blah, blah.
And that is permitted under the Americans with Disabilities Act. We're kind of expecting that the first time someone brings a miniature horse to Fall Fest, that we'll deal with it all then.
I want to see an eye horse.
What does it do?
Basically the same thing as a dog would do. It's more stable. It's something a person can throw their arm around and keep them protected and safe as they move around. I can see the logic of what they're doing. It's just, it's one of those moments in your life where you didn't realize it before and you read it for the first time. And it's like, are you kidding me, a horse? But it made a lot of sense. But we've never seen it before, and kind of like if I read the correct vibe from the lady who crafted this original document for the Forestry Service, she's probably hoping to never see it too. Because you just don't know how to deal with a miniature horse in a crowd. So the rules are there, the law is there, the understanding is there, and we'll dot the T and cross the I when the time comes.
Okay, moving on to our next agenda item, it's the Townsend City Fire Department growth plan. There's a document in your packet that outlines some of the issues that we're facing with some proposals. JD, would you like to present?
Sure, Mayor, would it be, I assume we want to read this into the record?
Yes.
Do we want to have a brief summary before that, or just go ahead and read it through?
I would go ahead and read it through.
Thank you. The Townsend City Fire Department Growth Plan, a council proposal from the Fire Committee, which is just me serving on that committee at this time. I have had the help of both Angie Wintro and Vivian Boas, and I'm grateful for both. Dated October 20th, 2020.